Well, speaking of star for good quarterback play, even though one team seems to have found it with a backup, first game on Saturday, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh.
Oh, do we have to watch the Steelers play offensive football?
I know. I don't want. I had
13-0 over the Colts. 30-13 is the final.
I thought that was going to be a good spot for the Steelers. They owned the Colts, and they got owned. That was a very discouraging performance from the Pittsburgh Steelers because you would have thought this was the vintage Mike Tomlin spot. You're off a bad loss. You're off 2 bad losses, by the way. You lose 2 weeks in a row. Never happened before to 2-win teams this late in the season. So it's like, okay, go on the road. This Colts team's a little bit inconsistent. And, they get up 13-0, and then all of a sudden the Colts take the lead late into the half, and then they kept that momentum rolling. Colts ended up being the right side, too. 372 yards to 216 for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 3 turnovers. The Colts no turnovers. And, yeah, this was disappointing because I really thought you were going to see the Steelers come out because we know on Ben Roethlisberger on his podcast was like, this is not the old Steeler culture. This is not the Steeler way. So it's like, okay, that's going up on the freaking bulletin board.
From Ben Roethlisberger saying
from
that
one
about
of the
his current
legends.
Head coach.
Yeah, it's like, only maybe like Terry Bradshaw or the late Franco Harris or a couple of the 70s legends would carry more weight historically in the franchise.
And they hate Terry Bradshaw in Pittsburgh these days because he's badmouthed the organization in the past. They don't like that in Pittsburgh. Kind of goes. Right. That's why Antonio Brown was cut many moons ago for posting a Facebook Live video of Mike Tomlin talking to like they keep everything in house. So when you start to see this, there's normally something to
that. Because we don't expect that because this is an organization that's only had 3 head coaches in its franchise's history.
Yep.
And now the Steelers very much up against it here. They've fallen out of the wild card. I believe they're 6 because right behind Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indy is Houston, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and then Denver. Pittsburgh with the better conference record ahead of Denver. But now you get Cincinnati coming in. How about the Bengals? They looked like they were swimming upstream the entire game.
Yep.
And Jake Browning finds ways to make plays. They win in overtime.
You shouldn't have bleeping cut me, Minnesota.
Yeah, that's what he said. And look, 324 yards and 2 touchdowns for Cincinnati. So Bengals laying 2.5 here. Remember, that was, I believe, Browning's first start, and they got dominated in the jungle. So this was Pick'em, now up to 2.5.
Spot here.
Boy, I don't. I mean, I feel like I don't. I got burned by Pittsburgh, and I don't know if I have the stomach to take them. But at 3, maybe I'm interested here because this is kind of the Waterloo spot. And are we getting Kenny Pickett back? Not that I think that there's a huge difference.
But there is. There at least a difference, a nominal difference between Pickett and Trubisky, right?
I felt like Pickett, that one game in Cincinnati where he had the new play caller, Mike Sullivan, because Matt Canada got let go.
Rolled up the yards.
I felt like he knew how to use Kenny Pickett better than Matt Canada did, and then he got hurt. So, it's probably a small upgrade if it's Pickett going. I don't think it's like massive, but I think he's a better fit for what Mike Sullivan wants to do now as a play caller.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.